Hello, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today we are going to discuss module number 23, which is about constructivist approach to ICT in education. After going through this module, you will be able to explain concept of constructivism, social constructivism, cognitive constructivism. Then you will be able to explain principles of constructivism and 5 E's of constructivism. You will also be able to apply constructivism in ICT in education, and you will be able to understand the constructivism approach to ICT in education. To begin with, as we all know, in our traditional classroom setup, which is based on behaviorist approach, a teacher assumes she has to impart knowledge to the students. So, students are not vessels that a teacher fills with a set of knowledge. As already we discussed, knowledge is ever changing and relevant to the learner. So, learner is learning the material through making their own connection with the prior knowledge. So, constructivism is active learning. Through constructivism, students are guiding and assessing their own learning. They are not taking in information, but are making their own interpretation of an experiences and then elaborating and testing those interpretations. As we have discussed, teachers must support students' understanding rather than providing the students with answer. The teacher encourages all students to express their ideas as they learn. So, basically teacher has to give a conducive atmosphere to the students. She should provide the opportunity to students where students will learn from their process as well as the product. Constructivism philosophy is about learning that proposes learner need to build their own understanding of new ideas. Now, where does this theory come from? Two of the most prominent constructivist researchers are Jean Piaget, who is well known for his stages of cognitive development, and Howard Gardner, who is well known for multiple intelligence. We shall discuss some of the definitions of constructivism. According to Brooks and Brooks, constructivism is a philosophy of learning founded on the premise that by reflecting on our own experiences, we construct our own understanding of the world we live in. So, here according to this definition, everybody live in different world, everybody has different experiences. So, definitely everybody will reflect on their own experiences in their own way. So, everybody's learning process would be different. According to Cashman, constructivism is based on a type of learning in which the learner forms or construct much of what one learns or comprehends. So, here learner, he learns and comprehends on his own. Constructivists believe that learner construct their own reality or at least interpret it based on their perceptions of experiences. So, an individual's knowledge is a function of one's prior experiences, mental structure and belief that are used to interpret objects and events. So, according to this definition, if you have given some situation or problems or some activities to students, they all comprehend it in their own way. They all have different mental structure, they have their own belief. So, based on that, they will interpret in their own way. So, for them, their learning will be based on their own interpretation. Study shows that students remember 90% of what they say and do, but only 20% of what teacher says. So, this illustrates the need of creating classroom that fits the way students learn. That is the essence of constructivism. Constructivism focuses on the students as shapes of meaning, as shapers. Constructivism focuses on students as shapers of meaning and knowledge. It is based on improving students' critical thinking skill, not just focusing on the content to be learned. So, in the normal classroom, when we say the content has to be learned, it is against main idea of constructivism. Basically, constructivism train the students how to learn, not directly making them learn. Once students understand the way they learn, they can carry this process with them into the future as they encounter new and different situations. Now, we shall discuss about two types of constructivism. First is cognitive constructivism. Cognitive constructivism is proposed by Brunner. According to him, learning is an active process. Learner construct new ideas or concepts based upon their current and past knowledge. Brunner stressed on understanding of the structure and subject being learned. Active learning and reasoning is required for true understanding. The learner should engage in discovery learning, obtaining knowledge by themselves. So, students are supposed to discover knowledge on his own experiences. They select and transfer information, construct hypotheses, and make decision. To make these things happen, learners should be provided the environment, experiences, and which is possible through ICTs. Computer simulation immerses the students in learning environment that model real world situation. Computer based simulations of real environment in which learner construct knowledge as they explore and design new words. Next is social constructivism. Vygotsky is the main proponent of social constructivism. Social constructivism believe that knowledge is constructed and mutually built in the social context. So, basically social interactions lead to social learning, which further lead to cognitive development. Students can perform a task under adult guidance or peer collaboration. Here, ICTs are helpful in providing opportunities for students to learn with the teacher and peers in constructing knowledge and understanding. ICTs boost collaborative learning and social learning. Social networking like Facebook, WhatsApp, making social learning a reality. Use of email, computer mediated communication provides the opportunity for collaborative learning, which is based on a social constructivist approach. Now we shall discuss principles of constructivism. First principle is learning should be viewed as active process. So here learning is an active process in which learner uses sensory inputs and construct meaning of it. The learner needs to do something. That learning is not passive acceptance of knowledge which exists out there. Learning involves the learner is engaging with the world. Second characteristic is it should be understood that people learn to learn as they learn. For example, if we learn the chronology of dates of a series of historical events, basically we are learning historical events chronologically, and we are simultaneously learning the meaning of chronology. Every learning consists both of constructing meaning and constructing system of meaning. Each meaning we construct makes us better able to give meaning to other sensations which can fit a similar pattern. Learning involves language. This is another principle of constructivism. Language we use influences learning. Researchers have noted that people talk to themselves when they learn. On a more general level, there is a connection of argument that the language and learning are inextricably intertwined. So, the native language is found to be more effective in learning. Next principle is learning is a social activity. Our learning is intimately associated with our connections with other human beings, our teachers, our peer, our family, etc. Much of the traditional education is directed towards isolating the learner from all social interactions and towards seeing education as one-on-one relationship between the learner and the objective material to be learned. In contrast, constructivism emphasizes on social interactions and the application of knowledge as an integral aspect of learning. Next characteristic is learning is contextual. We do not learn isolated facts and theories separate from the rest of our lives. So, whatever we learn, it should be contextual. We learn in relation to what else we know, what we believe, our prejudices, our fear. So, learning is active and social. We cannot separate our learning from our lives. It should be connected to our life. Next principle is one needs knowledge to learn. So, as we discussed, in constructivism, it is based on your prior knowledge. So, a student, he learn based on his own knowledge. Without previous knowledge, nobody can learn new things. Therefore, any efforts to teach must be connected to the state of learner. It must be provide a path into the subject for the learner based on learner's previous knowledge. Now, whenever we expect so many things to be happen, definitely it requires time. So, for significant learning, we need to revisit ideas, ponder them, try them out, play with them, use them. If you reflect on anything you have learned, you soon realize that it is the product of repeated exposure or thought. So, even or especially moments of profound insight can be traced back to long period of preparation. Next principle is crucial action of constructing meaning is mental. Learning happens in the mind. Physical actions, hands-on experiences may be necessary for learning, especially for children, but it is not sufficient. We need to provide activities which engage the mind as well as the hands. Next principle is motivation is a key component in learning. Motivation helps learning as well as it is essential for learning. Unless we know the reason why, we may not be very involved in using the knowledge that may instilled in us even by the most severe and direct teaching. So, we need some kind of motivation, we need some kind of purpose for learning. Now, we will be discussing about 5 E's of constructivism. The Biological Science Curriculum Study, that is BSCS, a team whose principal investigator was Roger Bebey, developed an instructional model for constructivism, which is known as 5 E's of constructivism. First E of constructivism is engage. So, excite the learner and engage the learner to develop interest in the topic. In the stage engage, the student first encounter and identify instructional task. They make connection between past and present learning experiences, stimulate their environment in the anticipation of these activities. So, we need to ask questions, define problems, show them surprising events and act on a problematic situation. Here, students are motivated to learn ahead. Demonstrations, reading, graphic organizers, brainstorming are used to engage students. Now, showing videos or images of light traveling in a straight line. Second E is explore. Students have the opportunity to get directly involved with the phenomena or material. In the exploration stage, the student think, investigate, test, make decisions, solve problems, collect information. They may read resource material, construct models. They develop a basis of experiences with the phenomenon. As they work together in teams, they involved in sharing and communicating. Here, the teacher acts as a facilitator, guide. She facilitates all the learning material and provide them experiences through which students explore the material and explore the learning further. Third E is explain. Here, learner explain what has been understood through an activity. So, students are involved in analyzing their exploration. Their understanding is clarified and modified through reflective activity. So, basically, the learner begins to put their own abstract experiences in concrete language form. So, here with the help of language, the learner sequences events into logical format and they explain the understanding of their ideas to teachers. Communication occurs between peers, the facilitator or within the learner himself. Here, learner work in group. They support each other's understanding as they articulate their observations, ideas, questions and hypotheses. The teacher introduces the label wherever necessary. For example, a child may state that they have noticed that magnet has a tendency to stick to a certain metallic object. Here, teacher in a discussion with the child might introduce the terminology that it is an attracting force. Here, common language enhances the sharing and communication between facilitator and students. The facilitator can determine the level of understanding and possible misconceptions. So, this is what the duty of a teacher, a role of a teacher in constructivism. Students may explain in the form of created words such as writing, drawing, videos, tape recorders. They provided recorded evidence of their development, progress and growth. In all, students may analyze and explain, support ideas with evidences, question in a structured manner, read and discuss, compare, classify, analyze the errors. For example, use of cooperative learning strategy for students to explain what they explore. Next is elaborate. Here, the student expand on the concepts they have learned. They may involve in problem solving, decision making, experimental inquiry and thinking skill activities such as compare, classify, apply. Students make connections to other related concepts. They may apply their understanding to the world around them. For example, while exploring light phenomena, a learner constructs an understanding of the path light travels through space. So, examining a lamppost, she may notice that the shadow of the post changes its location as the days grows later. This observation can lead to further inquiry as to possible connections between the shadow changing location and the changes in the direction of the light source, the sun. Students may apply their knowledge to real world events such as They will tell you where to plant flowers so that they receive sunlight most of the day. So, this is nothing but extension and application of the concepts that light travels in a straight path. These connections often lead to further inquiry and newer understanding. Next is evaluate. It's ongoing diagnostic process. It helps the teacher to understand learners' understanding. It also helpful for teachers, students, parents. Evaluation and assessment can occur at all points along the continuum of instructional process. So, we can make use of some tools that can assist in diagnostic process. For example, teacher's observation structured by checklist or student's interview, even portfolios, project and problem based learning products, or it could be embedded assessment. Basically, concrete evidences of learning is most valuable in communication between student, teachers, parents and administrators, and display of attainment and progress enhance understanding for all parties involved in the educational process. These evidences of learning serve as a guide to teachers in further lesson planning. It may signal the need for modification and change of direction. For example, if a teacher perceives clear evidence of misconception, then she can revisit the concept to enhance clearer understanding. Okay, we shall discuss the relationship between ICT and constructivism. Constructivism has a complementary relationship with technology. Both benefit each other. Technology aids constructivist learning. Students spend more time in active construction of knowledge when technology is involved in learning. Students actually learn more and in less time with computer based instruction. This makes constructivism and technology a useful tool in education. Constructivism has the framework that is supportive of technological learning, and students are more engaged and motivated to learn when technology is involved. Technology can be used to find and process information. It also can be used to help students to reflect on their learning, and this type of learning encourages higher level thinking. Constructivism promotes open-ended learning experiences where the method and result of learning are not easily measured and may not be the same for each learner. So, purposeful knowledge construction may be facilitated by an environment which is created by using ICTs appropriately. Constructivism demands learners' active participation, which is possible in the form of class participation, group submission, interactions, which becomes possible and smoothened with the help of ICTs. The use of ICTs within the classroom helps to engage learners and enhance constructivist-based learning opportunities. The integration of ICTs can create knowledge using interactive activities at a pace that is determined by the learner. It can create an opportunity for instructors to break away from the conventional scheduled class limit. Structured and goal-oriented online discussion can increase students' ability to articulate idea, collaboratively construct shared knowledge, which results in constructivist learning experiences. Blocks can enrich constructivist learning in an interactive structure that encourages public reflection and dialogue between the students. E-portfolio can promote constructivist learning as it is a tool to provide students with the ability to share knowledge and self-reflection with other students. Constructivist learning stresses the need of openly sharing knowledge. Various social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp allow the students to speak with peers within virtual learning communities. It also allows students to present their views and critically analyze the views of others. So, basically, information communication technology and constructivism, they complement each other, because if you want to make constructivism as a reality in the classroom, we need to take help of ICT, and if you want to make ICT as a strong base, or if you want to make use of ICT in the classroom appropriately, definitely constructivist based learning is appropriate approach for using technology in the classroom. So, basically today we have learnt about concept of constructivism, then we discussed about social constructivism, cognitive constructivism. Further we discussed different principles of constructivism. We also discussed 5 E's of constructivism, that is engage, explore, explain, elaboration and evaluate. Then we have seen the relationship between ICT and constructivism. Constructivism provides students with a higher learning skills. Those are very important in 21st century. So, every teacher needs to follow constructivist approach to make the learning more meaningful and effective. Thank you so much.